Hey, it's Nero here from Investment Rise, where we help people invest in property to help them achieve their financial goals faster. And recently I've been getting a lot of homeowners coming to me. They've seen their home rise in value over the last few years, so they know they've got some equity, but they still have a mortgage on their home and they want to invest, but they're often worried about, look, how can they afford maybe both mortgages, existing mortgage on their home, plus the mortgage on the investment property. There's this real fear of debt out there. So one of the things I thought I'd show you in this video is how we help people do their cash flow numbers to help them get clarity around this. So let's look at a hypothetical situation to begin with. So let's just say that you have your home and it's worth, in the marketplace, you believe you can sell it for about $1.1 million, okay? Well, the first thing you're going to have to do is, when you're looking to use equity in your home, is you need to go out there and get what's known as a lender's valuation. So your bank will have to come and value your home. And what I'm seeing right now is that, especially as the Sydney market is cooling, we've had the biggest drop in prices since before the GFC. And although it's not a crash, banks are being really, really conservative. So what I would expect is that if you think you can sell your property for about 1.1 million, expect that the bank will value the home at around about 10% less. So say $1 million. So we've got this home here, which the bank says is worth $1 million today. And unfortunately, in this game, the banks are judge and jury, so we've got to play by their rules. So we've got this home for $1 million. Let's just say that there's an existing mortgage here of $400,000. Okay, so that is your mortgage. All right, so this is all the existing debt. Okay. So the first question then is, well, how much equity do you have in your home to play with? Because a lot of people think, oh, look, if the bank values a home at $1 million, we owe $400,000, then surely the 1 million less $400,000 gives you $600,000. So that's how much equity you have to play with. And that's actually not the case. What the bank will do is they will say, okay, they think your home is worth $1 million. They will then generally multiply that by about 80%, especially in today's lending environment. So 80% of $1 million gives you $800,000. Then what they will do is they'll say, okay, $800,000 is the total amount that they could lend against the home, less what you owe at the moment, which is $400,000, which means that we take another chunk here, you have $400,000 in what's known as available equity, or AE, okay? So that's how much you can potentially play with, assuming you have the borrowing capacity to afford that, all right? So we've got $400,000 worth of available equity. Now we want to go and buy an investment property. And to keep the numbers easy, let's just say you go and buy a property out there for $600,000. Okay, so the question is, how do you do your cash flow numbers? Well, here's how I would do it. The first thing is you look at your investment property and assume, these days especially, the loan is going to be, again, 80%. So an 80% loan is $480,000. Okay, so 80% of your investment property is $480,000. So you need to come up with the difference, which is a 20% deposit, which is 600 less 480 is $120,000, plus your stamp duty, legals, etc. So let's just say we're at about $20,000 for that, purely as an estimate in this situation. All right, so we need the 120 plus $20,000, 120 plus 20 is $140,000. So out of this available equity, what we're going to do is, we're not going to use the full $400,000. No, we're going to take out $140,000. Okay, so, and this is your deposit D plus your costs, which is your, I said, stamp duty and legals and whatever else. So the question then is, when you're doing your cash flow numbers, what you want to ensure is that the rents that you're getting on this property cover the loan of $480,000, but they also cover this extra amount here of $140,000 that you've used in your equity. Okay, because essentially what you've done here is you have borrowed 100% of the purchase price plus cost for your investment properties. Whether you do that with one lender, whether you do that with two lenders is a different conversation, but it certainly is still doable. So you've borrowed 100% of the purchase price, okay, plus the cost. So what you need to ensure then is that the rental yield plus any depreciation, especially looking at a brand new property, covers this and covers that. And if it doesn't, then you need to know what's the bottom line shortfall. Is it like $3 a day? Can you afford that? Hopefully you can. So then that's probably quite a safe investment, all right? What you do not want to see is that you've already got this mortgage here that you've got to try and pay for and fund out of your own after-tax earnings. And now you've got to fund either this or this, whatever the case happens to be, because you buy a property that doesn't have a sufficient rental return. Right? And especially today in Sydney's market, where we're seeing a lot of rents fall in many of these areas, we right now have, according to CoreLogic, more properties available for rent than at any other time in the last 13 years. Many people are asking, is this even doable? And it certainly is, but you often have to look at maybe different markets and different suburbs. I mean, we recently did this for a single lady who came to us. She had, again, similar situation, had a home, had some debt on the home, already had some equity, and her major concern was, although she was doing well at work and was on a good income, her concern was what happens if the income stops, right? You know, can the rental income from the property afford this loan plus this? And would there be any extra left over? And in her case, there definitely was. And so she was able to buy investment property. We were able to help her get that property where the rents covered this mortgage, covered the extra, plus gave her a bit more to help fund this mortgage as well. Okay, so it's certainly possible to be able to find properties in growing markets where the rental yield plus any depreciation, etc., so the total income from the property pays for the loan on the property plus any equity increase, so that your lifestyle and your cash flow isn't impacted. So that's exactly how I would be doing my numbers if I was looking to help you. And if you're looking to buy investment property and you've got a home with a mortgage and you're concerned about, oh, can we afford the extra mortgage, make sure you do your numbers and make sure you take into account everything, and then you can then invest with certainty, because there's a lot of potential right now in the market if you buy in the right suburbs, but you need to make sure you're doing your cash flow numbers. I hope this video helps. If you think it'll help someone, please share it. Thanks very much.